Is the theory of the law of attraction true? That is, how we think and feel attracts the same vibrations and frequencies, or act as if you already have it. The law of attraction. What does it mean? Is to say that the outer world that we experience, our circumstances and environments, will be a reflection of our inner world. So, is it true? What does Vedanta philosophy say about it? Yes, but it's important that we understand the mechanism by which it occurs. As you think, so you become. The idea here is that you become the sort of person that is fed by the thoughts and the feelings that you entertain. We have the saying, you are what you eat. Your body will be according to the food that goes into it, so will your inner personality be according to the food, the thoughts and feelings that go into it. The subtle body is the combination of both the mind and intellect. We are creating the subtle body through the mechanism of our own thoughts and our own feelings. What are we feeding in? Thought becomes deed, becomes environment. This is another way to think about it. So we can use this idea for our benefit. We can consciously choose the types of thoughts that we entertain, the types of emotions that we allow to be in the personality. However, thought by itself is not enough to create your reality. Will thinking about being wealthy create wealth in your environment? Will money miraculously come to you from somewhere just because you're thinking about it? If that were the case, there may be a lot more millionaires than we actually find. Thinking about something does not provide it. What we need is action, effort. What thought does is it creates the inspiration to act. So what that means is that we can consciously visualize a goal, which gets us to set a plan and then to execute it. And it's the execution of the effort that makes changes. The thoughts that we entertain change the lens through which we view the world. So for example, if you continue to entertain the thought, the world is full of opportunities for me to serve, then everywhere you go, you will start to see those opportunities in a way that you didn't before. You will see the synchronicities that guide you towards it. And this can happen both consciously, but importantly, it's also happening in a subconscious way or a non-conscious way. Much of the way that we operate in the world is governed not by our conscious thought processes, but by our non-conscious thought processes. So if we continue to consciously hold to certain types of thoughts and thought patterns, we are reprogramming that non-conscious mind, and then it will change the sort of stimuli that get through to us. That new lens changes the way that we interpret what we're seeing, our reactions to it. It changes our natural, intuitive, spontaneous response. So by holding these sorts of thoughts and feelings in our minds, we can, both consciously and subconsciously, reprogram ourselves. And then our nature naturally gravitates towards those things that we are looking for. So it's not simply the case that by sitting in my room and thinking certain thoughts and holding certain feelings, the world around me will change to match that. This can get into a dangerous sort of a narcissism, where we believe that the universe revolves around me just because I think it. There's a second aspect of this question that we can cover as well. Is the theory of the law of attraction true? That is, act as if you already have it. It's the same principle. If you fake it to make it, essentially what you're doing is that same idea of reprogramming your conscious and subconscious experiences to alter the way that you interact with your environment and to change the choices that you make. But it's important here that you're not inauthentic with yourself. What does that mean? It means that you're not suppressing yourself. Okay, let's look at an example. There is a desire for wealth. If we hold the thought, I have wealth, what we may be doing is pretending only to operate from that feeling of, I have wealth. It's superficial. It's forced. What's actually happening is I'm reacting to something which is truer for me, something which I actually feel to be more real, which is that I lack wealth. The reason that I'm saying to myself, I have wealth, is because inside, deeper, I believe that I don't have it. When you have something, you don't walk around saying to yourself that you have it. No, when you've got it, that energy, that effort finishes. So the very fact that I'm saying I have wealth implies that there's a part of me that doesn't believe it. So we may be denying that and denying the fact that that desire and that feeling of lack is still operating. So we're actually working against ourselves. So this idea of faking it to make it, it can be used, but it's got to be used intelligently. The fake it to make it part, it's getting into a space where it actually feels real for you. Whatever it is you're searching for, connect it to what your own intellect recognizes as a legitimate underlying need. You must be able to justify it to yourself. So this requires some introspection. So this is the idea of faking it till you make it. It's not really faking it. It's actually creating the sense of what you want and then operating from that sense. So it's a tightrope walk. It's not easy. It's very easy to suppress yourself. Very easy to do a superficial game of this. To do it in a way that is very serious, and dealing with your own mind in a way that is authentic, much more challenging. There's a quote here from Denzel Washington. He says, "Say thank you in advance for what's already yours." The idea here is to surrender the movement of the universe, nature per se, your own self as the source of all experience. The idea is that you hold on to a recognition that what I'm searching for is a legitimate human need. I deserve this. And you know you're going to put effort in towards it. That's key. If you don't believe that you're putting effort in towards it, then you don't believe you deserve it. Understand the need, recognize it's legitimate. Put in effort so that you know you deserve it, and then say thank you for what is already yours in advance. It's surrendering to the unknown. This is the definition of devotion. So what we can do is allow the mind to play in the sandbox of this belief. The law of attraction functions. If I hold in my mind these thoughts, these feelings, then I will attract things of the same vibration, the same frequency. So you're allowing the mind to enjoy that belief, that faith, playing in a sandbox, as it were. At the same time, the adult, the intellect, is quietly observing from nearby, knowing full well that this idea, perhaps it's true, perhaps it's not, I don't know. I can't say that it is. But because the intellect is present and observing the mind, it's perfectly okay for you to believe it in that created space. The problem comes when that witnessing intellect collapses and what we feel to be true, we now accept to be true. This is toxic faith. When we say that because I feel it, it must be true. Is the theory of the law of attraction true? In a sense, yes. We attract environments and experiences according to our actions. and our actions are in line with our thoughts and our feelings. Those thoughts and those feelings direct us through life, both from a conscious and a non-conscious perspective. So it is important for us to feed the right kinds of vibrations, the right kind of frequencies into our personality. Act as if you already have it by saying thank you in advance for what is already yours, what you deserve, because it's a legitimate human need and I'm putting some effort towards it. It will come.